Start. Dim.
Hello again, welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH, and I'm back for another iOS app video. And today I'm going to show you another music app called Pandora Radio. And of all the radio services that are really popular on mobile these days, this is probably one of the ones that you are most familiar with or that you have heard of. So let's jump right in.
Pandora.
All right.
Pandora. Plus
So,
button.
Pandora Radio. Basically what this is you can build your own custom radio stations, and you can listen ad-free, or you can listen for free with ads, or they do have a paid subscription that you can subscribe to that I believe is, again, somewhere between $2 and $3 a month, something like that. And then you get ad-free listening and unlimited skips. So if you are a free user, you can only skip so many tracks per hour. So there is that. And just like a lot of other apps across the bottom, we have different tabs, and right now we are on the
Selected. Stations. Tab.
Stations tab. This lists all my stations that I have.
Feed. Tab.
Feed.
2 of 4.
My feed tab.
Profile. Tab.
Profile.
3 of 4. Settings.
And
tab.
settings.
4 of 4.
Now, admittedly, I'm really not going to go into the feed or the profile tabs because I really don't do anything in there. The feed tab is basically if I want to link this app with Facebook, which I do not. I haven't done it yet. Like I said in the other one of the other videos, I really don't link much of anything, if possible, to Facebook anymore because Facebook just annoys me and it doesn't get permission for much of anything anymore. And my the third tab is basically where you look at your profile. It tells you, like, you know, through the Pandora service, like if anyone subscribed to you or who you subscribe to if you want to, how many songs you've liked, all those types of things. But again, just a lot of these social features I really don't pay attention to, so I'm really probably not the best person to talk about that kind of stuff, because really when I open any of these apps, Slacker or Pandora or whatever it happens to be, I just want to listen to some tunes. So we're going to stick to our Stations tab here.
Selected. Stations. Tab.
And
1 of 4.
on the top, if I start from the top left,
Plus button.
I got a plus button, which means I can add music, or I can make a new station. And the way it works is, like, if you start adding a new station, it'll start by asking you, what do you want to call this station? And then you can start adding songs or artists, and the more you add, the more it can kind of customize, and it'll know kind of what songs you want to listen to for that particular station. So that is, you know, pretty helpful. It's really helpful to add more than just, you know, 2 or 3 artists. If you really want a certain type of mood or a certain type of music, you know, try to be fairly specific about, you know, what, you know, and put a whole bunch of bands in there that you really, you know, like at that style. If I flick to the right,
Now playing new.
Now
button.
Playing, this will take me to my Now Playing screen, which I'll go to shortly. And then we have a search.
Create a new station. Search field.
Create a new station,
Double tap
search
to edit.
field. So by that I can just start typing in an artist or a song or something and kind of shortcut right to that. I can do that. And then below that I just have a whole list view of all of my stations that I've created. And I've got a fair number of them.
Instrumental. Radio.
Got
button.
instrumental,
60s. 70s. And 80s hits radio.
60s, 70s, and 80s hits.
70s light rock radio. 70s rock radio. Acoustic guitar. Button.
Acoustic guitar.
Slide up or down to select a custom action.
And they do alphabetize them, so, like, you know, you do.
The blues. Button.
I got the blues,
Buddy Holly radio.
Buddy
button.
Holly, and if I keep going down, they just.
Chiptune radio. Classic rock. Collect comedy icons radio. Tap down radio. The Dropkick Murphys radio.
So I've got a few in there.
Rose Once
Basically,
Crawler,
I was
Rose Once
using
Crawler.
that to. I'll put some artists in there sometimes, just like if somebody says, "Oh, have you listened to this band?" Or maybe I want to listen to a band that I haven't heard in a long time. I can try to do that. And again, the way the Pandora works is that, let's say you do put a specific artist in, you get a song from that artist typically, and then you get a few songs that are from similar types of bands. And then after that, they'll pop back and play another song from that artist. So you don't have the complexity of something like Slacker Radio, where it's like, I want to listen to this artist and this artist alone. As far as I know, you really don't do that yet. So it's more just like music discovery, or, just jamming to some random tunes. Let me pop back up to this plus button.
Search field is editing. Character mode.
Okay.
Button.
So yeah, I just wanted to see something.
Button.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Plus button.
So yeah, I mean, and there are some, kind of built-in things to kind of give you an idea too. So you can search for, like, if I just start doing a search for like 70s, like I think one of my choices up here.
60s. 70s light rock radio.
So 70s light rock
Swipe up
radio.
or down to select acoustic 70s rock radio.
70s rock radio. There
Swipe up or
are
down to
some.
select a custom
Hush. There are some stations that they've already kind of built in, and as you're starting to search, like, instead of searching for a band or a song, and you maybe start searching for like a genre or something, it'll kind of clue you into some of these more specific things. So that's why I have a couple of 70s stations in there, because, there's more of the light rock, and then there's more of the, I guess harder rock, if you want to call it that. Let me do my
Rows 9
three-finger
to
flick
17,
down
rows
a
16,
few
rows
times.
22
Now
to 29 of 30.
I'm currently on a station here.
Selected. Orion. Instrumental. Radio.
This is a station that I kind of just
Swipe
ended
up or
up
down to select
experimenting
the custom-
with, and I haven't renamed it yet. But it started always as like an instrumental rock station, because I found that Pandora had a lot of cool, like, instrumental rock bands that I haven't heard before, and I was kind of discovering a lot of cool stuff there that way. And that's the one I was last listening to. Now, because I was listening to that, and that one is selected, there are a couple of buttons below it
Add
now.
Button.
This is a feature they added a little while ago, and I'm really, really glad they did, because once you had a station created, it was really tough to customize the station, and I'm not even sure you could at one time customize the station on the phone itself. You actually had to go to the website to do it. But I can go to this Add Variety, and there's where it'll go into that station that I've currently have there, and I can just go and add additional songs and bands and things that I want to put in there to further customize that station.
Options. Button.
And then options. So let's go into options.
Alert. Orion. Share station.
I can
Button.
share it.
Station details. Button.
Station details, pretty self-explanatory.
Rename station.
I can rename the station, so if I wanted to do that right now, although I can't think of a name, so I'm not going to, I could rename it.
Delete station.
I do not want to
Cancel.
delete that
Button.
station, because that's kind of one that I like to come back to
Profile. Tab.
fairly
3
frequently.
of 4.
So that is kind of just the station list.
Now playing.
I'm going to pop over to the upper right where the now playing is.
Fashion
and-
trends may come and go, but Florida's iced earth has remained steadfastly.
Hush. Okay, so this is the now playing screen, and at the top
The Caro.
you got your back arrow, which will take you to where you last were, usually your home screen.
Iced earth.
Iced Earth.
Transylvania. Icon menu.
So again, this is a some kind of instrumental song, or instrumental like metal song that I don't know if I've. I don't remember which song this is, so I can maybe play a tad of it here.
Icon menu. Button.
So I can do a menu here.
Icon menu. Share. Station
I can
track.
share it.
Publish. On. Off.
Publish. I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Sleep timer.
This is a new feature they just added, which I think is really nice. For those times where I'm jamming to tunes and I really should be going to sleep, but I can't because I keep hearing a good tune, and I keep, I'm going to turn it off after this tune, and then another song goes on. I can just set it, say, I want to sleep or I want to listen for about a half hour, and then go to bed.
Sleep timer. Buy on iTunes. Transylvania.
So it does link with iTunes if you use that ecosystem to buy your music. It's really easy to jump in and buy a song or an album that you like.
Bookmark.
I can bookmark that
Iced
song or
Earth. I'm tired of
artist.
this track. Transylvania.
I'm
Iced Earth.
tired of this track. So that's cool. Actually,
New
that's
station.
something I'm
From
not
current artist.
sure.
Check. Icon menu. Button.
I'm not
Icon
sure
menu.
that they used to have that feature because, boy, howdy, let me tell you, there are a few songs that I am actually getting tired of on Pandora. And that is one thing that I do want to talk about briefly before wrapping up this video on one of the limitations of Pandora, I think. But before I do that, let's finish this now playing interface. So,
Thumb down. Button.
on the bottom left, across our bottom bar here, we've got a thumb down,
Thumb up. Button.
a thumb up button,
Play. Button.
a play button,
Skip.
and
Button.
a skip button. So naturally, if I play,
Play
it'll
button.
switch to a pause button, and then, vice versa. So that's what we got there.
The Caro. Button.
And really,
Plus button.
it's a pretty straightforward app. I mean, there's not a whole lot of, there's not a whole lot of bells and whistles to it. I mean, you can get song lyrics for a song. Let me see. Let me go back
Now playing
into
new.
the now playing.
Fashion trends may come and go. Fashion trends may come and go.
If I double
The flow-
tap in the middle of the screen where the album artwork is, it flips to the kind of more information page of that, so I get a little description or a little
Fashion
bio
trends may
of
come
the
and go,
band.
But Florida's Iced Earth has remained steadfastly committed to championing the cause of heavy metal through thick and thin. After years of laboring in obscurity and undergoing countless lineup changes, they have slowly...
Yada yada. If I wanted to read that more, I could.
Show more. Link.
I could show the whole profile there.
Hard Rock Roots. List start.
And what's cool is it kind of gives you, like, if you want to look at, like, what the categories are for this, so, like, you want to find more stations like that or more artists like that, it kind of tells you how they classify that
Page 2 of
particular
2.
artist.
Extensive vamping.
Nah.
Hard Rock Roots.
Hard rock.
12/8 time signature. Minor key tonality. Show more. Link.
So it gives you not only genres, but I mean even characteristics of the song. So you're like, I like that sound. I want to hear more of that. Maybe you want to hear more slide guitar, or you want to hear more slap bass or something. That kind of cool stuff. And I don't
The Caro.
I don't
Trans-
remember-
Icon menu. Button.
remember where it is. I know there's a way to get the lyrics, and I don't recall where that is, so I won't demo that here today. I apologize for that, but I know you can somewhere. It might even be under the...
Show more. Link.
Show more?
Link. Artist. The Caro. Button.
Let's see.
700 originally formed. Page
I'm
2
just
of-
gonna-
Page 3 of... Page 4 of 6.
Okay, it gives me some
Page 6
there.
of Demons and Wizards. Iron Maiden. Hammerfall. Megadeth.
Okay,
Link.
so I can get some similar artists.
Xavier Hodge 11. The Gettysburg Trilogy is the best songs ever. Page
And then
66.
some reviews.
View all comments. Great. Sarah Basiro. Andrew Freund.
Anyway,
Caro.
I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in there, but I mean, you get the idea. There's, you can get a
Caro.
lot of information on the bands and
button.
stuff like that. Usually, I just kind of passively let her go and maybe thumb up or thumb down some songs. And like I said, if you are really into the social listening, connecting it with your Facebook and other accounts and things like that, you can definitely do that. That's just, I guess, not really my style, so I haven't really played with all those kinds of things. But that is kind of a quick look at Pandora. Now, before I do wrap up this video, there are a couple things that I do want to mention.
Ready.
One of the downsides that I feel about Pandora is I started out with these mobile apps by listening to Pandora, and they seem to have a really good amount of kind of obscure stuff in some of the categories that I like. But the downside is that I find that if I build, let's say, a classic rock station, they have a problem where there's a lot of repeats. So within, let's say, a day or two, I will actually hear a repeat of the same song fairly often. And if I have similar stations, maybe I have a oldies station, maybe I have a classic rock station, or maybe I have a 70s station. If I switch between those, I'll hear a lot of the same, not only the same artists, but the same songs. And if I'm listening to an artist, I will hear the same 2-3 songs from that artist over and over and over again. So even if they have a huge catalog of material, I'm only going to hear those songs, and that's what gets frustrating. That is one of the downsides of Pandora. But overall, really like it, and definitely want to recommend if you want to look for one of the radio apps. It works really well. Hope you guys enjoy this. So until next time, that is Pandora Radio. And until next time, I will talk to you guys later.